What's some juicy gossip you just found out in your personal lives? My uncle told my parents that he needed money because he borrowed from the Chinese mafia. And they were threatening to kill him and his family or something. My parents sent him some money. And then 2 weeks later he posted a pic with a new car. My aunt did something similar a few years back. Long story short, my parents ended up with that new car instead. I've got time. I'll listen. My aunt has never been good with her money and gets herself wrapped up in all kinds of MLM schemes. This particular time she told my parents that she found a great and legit employment opportunity. And that it was so good that she wanted to invest in it. 2 weeks later she comes back around and says that she was scammed by the mafia. And they gave her drugs to sell instead of shoes and that she needs to buy her way out so she doesn't have to become a drug dealer. She had all the texts to prove it. Another 2 weeks later and she comes around with a BMW. We still aren't quite sure how she could afford that since my parents didn't really hand her that much. And a designer purse. My dad is the most pissed I've ever seen him. Takes all of the proof she sent him and threatens to go to the police with it. She offers a trade, the BMW for the old beta car my dad used to teach us to drive in if he doesn't go to the police. Since she was so eager to get rid of the car and for my dad to not go to the police. We're pretty sure she was selling drugs. And I'm pretty sure I still haven't heard the full story from my dad. Today my aunt is selling essential oils and jewelry. My barber got 2 different girls pregnant, neither of whom are his girlfriend. Prices have went up a little bit but the phone calls I overhear are worth it lol. Some girl in our year at school posted on Facebook the other day how her boyfriend had supposedly cheated on her. They had a full-blown argument in the comments just on Facebook for everyone to see. Yesterday she posted a picture of some keys tagging her boyfriend in it saying just bought our first house together. Well, that's not gonna last. This woman I know is dating a very shady guy. She's nearly 40 and desperate. So she overlooks a lot of the red flags. All her friends think he's an asshole. He claims he disappears every now and then because, get this, he works for WikiLeaks. He is married to someone. He claims that they got married only for visa purposes and they only FFF like a few times. He has citizenship now, but they aren't divorced because of some paperwork stuff involving, you guessed it, WikiLeaks. He facilitates between having her attend his family events and declaring that he doesn't believe in marriage and kids. Though, of course, he's married already. He recently suggested they be in an open relationship. She has always wanted marriage and kids, so it surprised me she got on board this relatively easily. I suspect it's because she wants to hold on to him. Guy does anything. Guy. Oh, it's just because I work for WikiLeaks. Don't worry about it. We got a new boss like a year ago at work and we've been hating it. People are getting written up for petty and suspended and losing their bonuses. I'm a good employee, but this stuff finally caught up to me too and I got written up for getting injured at work. Long story. I don't play, so where it said employee comments on the write-up I said see attached and typed out a 3-page defense talking about how I thought it was unfair and how I thought people had been getting treated unfairly for a year now. The next day I got called into a meeting by my boss, and his boss, and his boss and an hour rep so they could grill me about it. By the end of the meeting we had all figured out that it was actually the HR rep who had been screwing with people for a year now. And the anger shifted completely away from me and onto her. I went around and told everybody about it. We're going to make this BBBB pay. How did you guys figure out it was the HR rep? I was talking about how I didn't think it was fair that my boss kept writing us up for petty things. And my boss's boss said it wasn't him, it was the new HR lady cracking down. My boss just delivers the slips, and he gets nervous when he does it so he smiles like he's enjoying it. Nervous smiling is a curse. I grimace when nervous and it looks a bit like a grin. It's not good. I just found out that one of my work colleagues who just returned from a 2-week expensive holiday with his wife in Iceland has just found out his wife has run up about £50,000 debt on numerous credit cards. Oof. That's a large amount. What did she spend it on? For a start, she paid for her son's, from a previous marriage, university fees without telling him. I'll never get this mentality. Like I'm going to spend an obscene amount of money and pray my spouse doesn't notice. One of the girls in our group of friends has never really gotten over her ex that left her 3 years ago. She will often bring him up when drunk and it has really hampered her dating life. He lives thousands of miles away, and today he posted a picture of him sitting with an attractive dude getting coffee. They are holding hands and their legs are touching. We were all sitting around the TV hanging out when she saw the picture. Shell shock is the best description for her face. I know a guy who got his friend to marry him so he can get a green card. Except his friend was already in a relationship. Not only did my friend get married, he also inherited a boyfriend-in-law. Now the three of them live in the same house. Are you sure this isn't just a sitcom you watched? Okay, but I think I would legitimately watch this if it was a show. Edit. TIL that a bunch of shows have done this, notably Shameless. Thanks Reddit. My two friends just found out they have the same sugar daddy. They had both been under the impression that they were exclusive with him. Man, to be rich enough to sugar daddy 4 girls at once. Truly the American dream. I'd like to be rich enough to sugar daddy myself. Shoot, I'd be fine being a stevia daddy. Sweet and low on funds. My neighbor's cousin broke into her house and stole 37 guns. Also, I learned my neighbor owned at least 37 guns. If I knew someone had 37 guns, I probably wouldn't try to steal from them. Because they have 37 guns. But once you steal them, you have 37 guns, and they have 0. Flawless plan, really. My co-worker makes $10 an hour, works part-time, and pays for her living. Still married, boyfriend's rent, and child support cause he's broke. She just found his bank receipt showing $17k in his checking account. Was this at least a wake-up call for her? No. Ugh, I have a co-worker with a deadbeat boyfriend. Every week he does something mega FFF up, but she's still with him. She's pregnant now, so I think she believes she's stuck. But 100% being a single mother would be better than supporting a kid and a deadbeat. Commenting from my other account. A couple that we have been friends with for a few years now, both very normal people with vanilla jobs, took a trip overseas that was supposed to last a week. Not unusual for any of our group of friends. No one had heard from them for close to a month until we found out they've been arrested on the other side of the earth trying to smuggle out close to $1 million for an international drug cartel out of the country they were visiting. When we heard the news, we were just sitting there quietly in disbelief for about 5 minutes. One of my sister's friends from her sorority had a mental breakdown on her 2 roommates. Of all the crazy stuff I overheard, the best part was when she got in her car and proceeded to ram into the back of one of the other friend's car, over and over, for almost 2 hours. Like, they got security camera footage of her ramming the car, backing up, and doing it again for 2 whole FFF hours. Amazing. I wonder what songs she was playing during those 2 hours. Move BBB, get out the way. Local celebrity who is known for loads of charity work recently attempted to fake his death in America because he has 24 counts of rape against him back home. Was a little bit of a surprise. Apparently for years my parents have told my teachers I have a learning disability. I didn't know I had a learning disability. I don't think I have a learning disability. I asked them why and they said it takes about $1,500 off the cost of my university tuition from some government grant, so I guess I have a learning disability. Update. I asked my parents more questions about this and I apparently got tested when I was young and have a legitimate learning disability diagnosis. My parents aren't committing fraud. They knew all along that I was diagnosed and I just recently found out about it. I found out from an insurance company that I was dead. Turns out when I went off to uni my father tried to take me off his insurance and the company wanted to charge a fee for changing the insurance policy. He then asked whether they would charge if I had died. They said no. He then declared me dead. Thanks, Dad.